Legend of Total War here, and today we're doing a Rate Your Doomstack video covering Kemmler's Hexwraiths Doomstack for Warhammer 3. So, Kemmler's got a bunch of skills in his skill tree that provide boosts to Hexwraiths, the most notable one being horrible regeneration. So this allows them to heal on their own, but also revive dead combatants. It does give them additional weakness to fire attacks though, but you know, there's a few flaming units in here, we just got to be careful. So we're going up against dwarves. It's Ironbrow's expedition, and they've got 3 full stacks. It looks like endgame crisis type armies. I think they've been taking a bit of attrition due to vampire corruption. But anyway, let's jump in here and see how it goes. Now, typically speaking, cavalry-based Doomstacks in Warhammer 3, or just in Total Warhammer in general, have not been the best received because they are... they do require a fair bit of micro, usually. And so they can also be very difficult to rate, because sometimes there's just more cost-effective units to use. But I think with Kemmler, this is definitely something that you can work with. It also works with Cairnwraiths as well, but there's no real advantage for Cairnwraiths over Hexwraiths, because they have the same number of entities. These are just stronger. I don't think I've seen this map before. Okay. It's very flat. Anyway, so with this type of army, in order to use it correctly, you want to be Vanguard deploying and charging at them straight away. Now, the problem here is that I don't think we're going to beat them in 2 minutes. Not that we really want to test this out. But we do want to not wait for their reinforcements to show up, because that's not what you would do with this army at all. So what we're going to do here is set up our Vanguard deploy. And as for these two, since we're here testing out the Hexwraiths, I'm just going to keep them out of it for the time being, because we could very easily send Kemmler over there in Wind of Death, but we're here to just do cavalry micro. Alright, and let's do this. So just get some move orders going right away. We can reissue the attack orders when they get a bit closer. It's on legendary difficulty with very hard battles. So top priority here is going after the missile units. I think what I'm going to do here is just feign the attack in the center, because what I'm going after is the missile units. So right now we're going to break off from there. So we want to be getting around here. I have no interest in charging into dwarf warriors or anything like that. And what we've done here is just completely disrupted their lines. Getting around their back. That's it. That's it. That's it. Get around their backs. Watch out for Iron Drakes. We need to get at them. Specifically targeting their missile units first, because obviously the role of the dwarf units, melee infantry, is just to hold us back while the missile units shoot. We don't want them to do that. Yeah, those are iron breakers there. Hang on, get rid of that. And when you're going up against multiple armies like this, what we want to be doing is doing as much damage to them as possible in the early part of the battle, and whatever damage we take, we just like pull back when their reinforcements start coming in, and just regenerate. This one here's taking a bit of damage. Yeah, it's right in the thick of it. Want this guy to come around the side over here and flank it. Okay, enemy reinforcements are coming in, so we don't want to get stuck down here. We almost defeated the entire army. They took massive amounts of damage here. There must be someone with, you know, flaming attack, right? Let's get some of these guys out of here. What's going on there? Because yeah, we're gonna need to get them away from the edge of the map here. All right, time to get out of here. Okay, get out, get out. We don't want to be fighting near the corner or an edge because they're just not going to fight that well there. We need to flank them. But we really got the upper hand on them there. And now we can just regenerate. Yeah, they will get stuck and require a little bit of babysitting, but that's okay. That's okay. No one got wiped out. And the one unit that can't regenerate didn't take any damage, so that's good. God, this is always going to be the biggest problem with cavalry. Just how badly they can get stuck. They're just refusing to disengage. Some of them aren't really that much into the thick of it, but they're just refusing to disengage. Come on. God damn. What is going on there? They're not even trying to disengage at all. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, they just don't want to listen to me. Oh, whatever. They'll end up dead and then we'll just have to revive them. So what we want to do here, this map is actually very small, but at least it's flat. What we want to do here is let them come more into the center of the map, which gives us the advantage so that we can flank them a bit. Yeah, what can you do if they don't listen to your orders? So I mentioned that the Banshee is just there to provide campaign movement range, which is, you know, very handy. Can't do anything about the Gyro Bomber. Alright, so what happened there? Oh, they were recovering some barrier, and I think they got away. Okay, let's just wait for a bit of regen over here. You can see they're starting to come back. And also wait for them to come forward a little bit. They've still got guys stuck over there. So yeah, you can see this one here, bringing back its entities. And it's good to see that it affects the Chillgeists as well. Which are a regiment of renown. Sometimes Lord skills don't affect regiments of renown. Sometimes. But I think Creative Assembly is trying to fix a lot of that with the latest updates. Okay. Right, well, they're not at the red line at the sorry, the white line. Not yet, but they're still taking a defensive position because we haven't done any range damage to them. Also, we're the attacker in the scenario here. It actually would be better if they were the attacker here. But we're just taking some time to regenerate our entities because that'll just increase our damage output, which is what we need. We need to hit hard with cavalry, hard and fast, and disrupt their missile units. Now, it's kind of good that we didn't wipe out a lot of these units because they're totally worthless on the battlefield now, but they have denied a reinforcement unit to come in. So we're just going to do the same thing again. Charge in from the center and then split off to try to get around their flanks. These ones here are Slayers. At least most of them do physical attacks, so we're pretty resistant against it. Hexwraiths used to have 75% physical resistance in Warhammer 2. But yeah, they've removed that. I wonder if we got the Nagashazar landmark, which provides 5% extra physical resistance. Okay, we've pretty much recovered now. Let's get moving. Alright. Try to get around them. And we just feign the attack in the center there. Now, the reason why we feign the attack here is so these guys don't just move around to counter these guys. You have to trick them. I mean, feigning charges is one of the oldest tricks in the books. Which then puts us in this book. Okay. They are reshuffling over here. They consider that the biggest threat. Okay, well then we'll back off there. Whole point of cavalry is to punch them in the kidneys. Punch them in the weak spot. You don't punch them in, you know, the shins. Doesn't make much sense. This group over here is pretty isolated. The worst thing about a cavalry Doomstack, though, is it does require some degree of micro skill. It's not just click and win, for the most part. So yeah, I didn't attack with these guys here because they had the hardest task there. I could see that they were really focusing on this, so I just didn't make the attack there. Okay, that's good there. Yeah, having a distraction force like this that's keeping a lot of their units' attention can be really handy. You can always just use them later down the track. But you always want to be attacking the soft underbelly of any army that you go up against. Iron Breakers are particularly difficult due to their high melee defense. Can't do anything about that. Okay, try once again to get around their back here. This fight over here is not too bad. We're not really taking much damage. That actually do a fair bit. And none of the units have hit their regen cap yet. We should be getting fairly close to the army losses. Alright, this is fairly blobbed up over here now. I think that's a good time to charge in, since we've thinned them out quite a bit. Hang on, artillery. Go get rid of that. That's it. Good, with all these missile units coming in now, they're going to get wrecked by the Hexwraiths. So yeah, this is definitely the intended way to use this army. It wouldn't be amazing in sieges, but if there wasn't a gigantic garrison, you could do it. Okay, we need to still keep these ones here attention so they don't bother us too much here. Guess they just... no, get back. Charge in here. Got him kind of surrounded. Now, of course, this would be even stronger if I was using magic. But I have handicapped myself with it because I don't feel like we need the magic in this battle. As I've said before, I do what I need to do to give this a proper test. If I feel like the army needs to use that, then I'll do it. But if not, then I won't. Okay, you got to keep those pinned down over here. I think they use run slowness on us there. See a little bit of a gap there. Yeah, real slowness. Alright, for the most part, ripping them to shreds. However, trying to move out of this here, we're just going to get stuck. So we're kind of having to commit to it now. A few units are taking a little bit of damage. Can't do anything about the gyrocopters. You just have to suck up whatever damage they're going to do. But most of the units on the ground here, they are just getting shredded. Alright, let's take the units that are the most damaged and try to get them out if possible. So they can heal. I'll send this one over to Heinrich Kemmler to go get a heal, since it can't regenerate. Oh, no. Stop that. Alright, yeah, we're seeing a lot more pressure coming in now, but I think the army losses were just triggered. Yeah, they were. That means horrible regeneration. Actually, it will continue going as long as we don't get rid of these, Slayers. Because the battle outcome hasn't actually been decided yet. So just doing a bit of cleanup there. Keep this one away from the main group while they're running them down. That way we're still regenerating. Because, yeah, horrible regeneration enabled if battle outcome is undecided. Even though we've inflicted the army losses, because they have an unbreakable unit, the battle outcome hasn't yet been decided. Okay, let's get Heinrich Kemmler over here. Because what we want to do here is end the battle as much as possible at full health, which looks like we can do. As long as we don't get stuck here. So yeah, it's actually very useful against dwarves if they've got one unit of slayers. Just ignore them until the end of the battle and use that to generate healing. Go. Now we're just waiting for these ones here. They'll regenerate fairly quickly, but just to speed things up, we'll use the Hex on the weakest ones. We had Krell as well, didn't even need it. This was a pretty heavy-duty army. I think we could have taken on 4 armies. Especially considering we're going to end this battle here at, I think, no damage whatsoever. Just waiting on a little bit more healing, and then we'll just finish the job. In fact, why don't we bring Heinrich Kemmler over here and just zombie them to death? Because we've got heaps of wins. That'd be really insulting for these slayers to be killed by zombies. Alright, those last few slayers are going to be tricky for the zombies to get rid of. So I'll just get the Hexwraiths to come in and finish the job. But yeah, all of the units are completely at full health. No damage whatsoever. Excuse me. No point charging in there where the zombies are... They're just going to block our charge. But yeah, it's not super strong in auto-resolve, But then again, going up against dwarves are just naturally very strong in auto-resolve. But yeah, that is an amazing result there, I think. Not trying to trip my own horn, I'm just saying this army did a really good job. I mean, no damage, 3 full stacks of endgame dwarfs. And I've heard people always complain about dwarfs when fighting as vampire counts. Oh, what do? They have too many missile units and they blow me up. Now let's just see what the upkeep cost of it is. But the vampire counts are pretty rich, so whatever the upkeep costs are, it's probably manageable. And we could have very easily used Wind of Death to thin them out to begin with as well. God damn, just about all of them dead. But yeah, full health at the end of it. Because yeah, Regeneration is incredibly powerful due to being able to, you know, end the battle in really good shape. Allowing you to fight multiple battles in a single turn. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Alright, let's have a look. So if we have a look at what Heinrich Kemmler is doing through his unique skill line here. Perpetual Regeneration. So it provides horrible regeneration for Hexwraiths and Hexwraiths when they're rank 7 and above. That's why this one here didn't have it. And then I think White Blades as well provides devastating flanker for Hexwraiths and Hexwraith units, plus bonus versus infantry. So that was this one here. That's why it was so important to just not charge into the front, because that wouldn't have gone off at all. And because we had bonus versus infantry, the dwarves got absolutely shredded at. We had a really high melee attack, you know, for cavalry. Cavalry, typically speaking, don't have that high of a melee attack, except for maybe Slaneshi cavalry. But with the bonus versus 8, that adds on top of it, plus very high weapon strength. But yeah, in terms of rating this, it's pretty good. Like, that's very expensive, but he does have 29 supply lines. And he's making loads of money, so I guess it's tolerable. But it is, okay, in terms of practicality, it's thematic for Heinrich Kemmler because he boosts them, but it's just on the expensive side. However, vampire counts make loads of money, so it's like medium-high practicality. It's not great in walled sieges, but there's at least fewer minor city sieges now in the game. So in field battles, this is where it's going to shine. In terms of strength, it's definitely very strong, but there are probably some situations where it's going to struggle a little bit, especially against single entities. Cavalry is notoriously bad at taking out single entities, very good at taking out like missile units and cavalry, so I think the dwarves were a good choice, but there are tougher enemies out there. And in terms of ease of use, it's not necessarily super easy to use. You've got to really know good cavalry tactics, you know how to feign charges, how to micro fairly quickly, know when to pull out, when not to pull out, that kind of stuff. And that kind of stuff can take a little while to learn. But if you're already there with cavalry, then it's not that difficult to use, especially if you've only got one unit type. Typically speaking, it's a lot of micro, but it's a lot of easy micro, which is what I usually try to build my micro-intensive armies around. So I'm not having difficult decisions to make, I just have to make a lot of decisions. Overall, I think it's a good Doomstack, and I think it's been made almost perfect, except for this one here. Anyway, that's the end of this one here, guys. I appreciate this one here being sent in. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate you, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. Bye.